Have you ever wondered how easily our personal information can be stolen? It's not always through complex hacking or identity theft. Sometimes it's as simple as a well-placed phishing email. That is exactly what happened to actress Jennifer Lawrence and dozens of other celebrities who found themselves victims of a massive iCloud hack in 2014. The incident raised serious questions about online security and privacy, and it could have been avoided if these people had simply been more cautious. In this video, we will examine the shocking extent of the hack, how it happened, who was behind it, and what it means for all of us when even the rich and famous are unsaved from cybercrime. So stay tuned as we explore one of Hollywood's biggest scandals. This wasn't just a hack, it was a coordinated attack on over 100 women. In late September 2014, news broke that hundreds of nude photos, allegedly, featuring top actresses had been posted online and were going viral. Among them was Jennifer Lawrence, the 24-year-old Oscar winner for Silver Linings Playbook. But there were also plenty of other famous faces like Ariana Grande, Kate Upton, Kirsten Dunst, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and many, many more. We're talking at least 100 women total. Most of them had clearly suffered the same fate as Lawrence. Their intimate images had been stolen and distributed without their consent. They had become victims of revenge porn. The story only grew from there. It was discovered that all of these women had been targeted in an elaborate scheme to steal their private information. And while some had been tricked into giving up their passwords via phishing emails, others may have had their accounts hacked by malware or purchased by criminals on the black market. It didn't matter how it happened. All that mattered was that these women had become the victims of one of the biggest celebrity hacks in history. But as details of the scandal emerged, it became clear that this was no ordinary case of hacking. Someone had taken the time to plan this meticulously, selecting specific targets and using various methods to infiltrate their accounts. The true scope of the attack was astonishing. Hundreds of thousands of iCloud accounts had been compromised, many of which belonged to unsuspecting people who were unfamous or wealthy, but simply used Apple's cloud storage system. These victims had nothing in common except their use of iCloud. So why were they chosen? What was the motive here? The answer lay with the infamous group of hackers known as the Lizard Squad. This notorious gang was behind some of the most audacious cyber attacks in recent years, including massive DDoS attacks against Sony Pictures in 2014. At the time, they made headlines for launching a campaign called Operation Hacking Team. This involved releasing sensitive data belonging to Apple employees and contractors in an attempt to force the company to fix its security flaws. But while stealing company information is one thing, deliberately targeting innocent people for revenge porn is quite another. And yet, the Lizard Squad did exactly that. But why? Who are these hackers and what did they want? Despite being active since at least 2010, the Lizard Squad remains shrouded in mystery. Not much is known about their origins, leadership, or even true size. Many believe the group is located in Eastern Europe or Asia based on internet traffic data linked to their attacks. Although no arrests have been made, some speculate that many members are part of a larger criminal organization involved in drug trafficking and racketeering. Their choice of targets suggests a group motivated by financial gain rather than political activism or ideology. On September 22, 2014, the Lizard Squad sent out a series of tweets announcing their plans to release stolen iCloud data belonging to high-profile individuals. The first tweet read, "Welcome to the largest leak of iCloud data in history. One lucky individual has managed to obtain the login credentials of some of the most notable figures in America." Then came the threats. "We have more data than we can even leak. Our sources are working overtime." The message was clear. The Lizard Squad planned to systematically release compromising information about their targets, unless Apple took action to address their concerns. Apple quickly responded to the situation. On September 23rd, the company announced that they had detected a security breach involving customer accounts and swiftly took steps to secure user information. However, these measures came too late to stop the damage done. By then, the hackers had already obtained usernames and passwords for over 500 million Apple iCloud accounts and were prepared to cash in on their haul. One way they did this was through extortion. Many victims learned about the data breach through media reports or social media posts and immediately contacted Apple to report it. But some were directly contacted by the Lizard Squad, who threatened to publish their private information unless a ransom was paid. It's unclear how much money changed hands or if any victims paid up, but it's likely that the hackers netted a tidy profit nonetheless. But the impact of the hack went beyond monetary loss. Victims suffered severe emotional distress knowing that their most intimate moments could be seen by anyone at any time. Some even experienced harassment or reputational damage as a result of the leaks. For example, model and actress Charlotte Austin accused Apple of intentionally leaking her private information in retaliation for her criticism of the company. She believed that this was an orchestrated campaign to silence her. After she posted about her negative experience trying to update her iPhone 6 Plus, whether or not this was true, it goes to show the far-reaching impact of the hack. So, how exactly did the Lizard Squad pull off such a massive heist? The answer lies in a series of well-crafted phishing emails. Unlike traditional hacks that rely on exploiting software vulnerabilities, phishing attacks target users directly. This involves sending emails that appear to come from a trusted source like Apple, but contain malicious links or attachments designed to trick recipients into revealing their passwords or other sensitive information. Once inside the system, hackers can steal account credentials and use them to access protected data. In this case, the Lizard Squad reportedly used spear phishing emails, which are highly targeted messages designed to fool specific individuals rather than random blasts to thousands of addresses. Each email was carefully crafted to trick the recipient into clicking a malicious link or opening a Trojan horse attachment. For example, the emails may have pretended to be a notification about a two-factor authentication code or a request to update account settings. Once clicked, the link would lead to a fake Apple login page where unsuspecting users would enter their credentials, only to have them captured by the hacker. The effectiveness of this tactic cannot be overstated. Phishing attacks are one of the most successful methods of hacking because they rely on human error rather than technical exploits. With careful planning and execution, attackers can fool even the most security-conscious users into giving up their passwords. That's why many experts consider phishing to be the #1 cybersecurity threat today. But why were Apple users specifically targeted? After all, the company is known for its strong commitment to privacy and security. Well, it turns out that Apple was actually a key factor in the Lizard Squad's decision to attack us. As mentioned earlier, the group had demanded that Apple take action to address their concerns regarding data privacy and security. Specifically, they wanted the company to implement stronger two-factor authentication and encryption protocols. But Apple resisted these demands, believing them to be unreasonable and unnecessary. This created a perfect opportunity for the Lizard Squad to make their point in the most dramatic fashion possible. By hacking into iCloud accounts, the group could demonstrate the vulnerability of Apple's cloud storage system and force the company to take notice. The fact that many high-profile celebrities were among their targets also ensured that the hack would receive widespread media attention. In this way, the Lizard Squad achieved both their goal of exposing Apple's security flaws and their secondary objective of extorting money from terrified victims. It's unclear whether Apple has addressed the underlying issues that allowed this hack to happen, but the company has since beefed up security measures to prevent another data breach of this magnitude. Nonetheless, the Lizard Squad's attack serves as a reminder that no system is truly foolproof, and that companies must remain vigilant in their efforts to protect customer data. What makes this story particularly fascinating is the glimpse it provides into the mind of a cybercriminal. Unlike traditional hackers who may be motivated by ideology or activism, the Lizard Squad is purely a criminal enterprise. Their goal is financial gain, and they will stop at nothing to achieve it. This includes blackmailing innocent people and ruining their lives. While the group remains largely anonymous, their actions speak for themselves. They are a ruthless, highly organized cybercrime syndicate willing to exploit any vulnerability for personal gain. But the true cost of this hack extends beyond money and reputation. It has left many wondering how safe our information is in the digital age. With so many companies holding onto our personal data, it's inevitable that breaches will happen sooner or later. The question is, are we doing enough to protect ourselves? As technology advances and our reliance on data-driven services grows, so too will the sophistication of cyber attacks. That's why it's crucial to stay informed and take proactive steps to secure our information. This includes using strong passwords, being wary of suspicious emails, and monitoring our accounts regularly for signs of unauthorized activity. The good news is that there are plenty of resources available to help us do this. From online security courses to password management software, there's no shortage of practical tools we can use to better protect ourselves. But ultimately, it comes down to each individual taking responsibility for their own security. Just like the celebrities targeted by the Lizard Squad, we may think that we're too smart to get hacked, but all it takes is one slip-up to compromise our data. So let this story serve as a warning and an inspiration. Let it inspire us to take our online security seriously, and let it warn us of the lengths that cybercriminals will go to in order to profit from our negligence. Because while the rich and famous may have the resources to recover from a hack, the same can't be said for everyone. Now check out what really happened to the Sony Corporation, or watch how the FBI took down the Silk Road.